Hello and welcome to the channel, and welcome today to Skyscrapers. This is a game I've been meaning to show you for a long time, but unfortunately it's been a little bit delayed, but here it is. This game is a pretty cool sort of platform brawler, is probably the best way I can describe it. It's very 90s inspired, which is probably one of the reasons why I kinda love it. I'm dreadful at it, but my god do I love it. It's got a really cool soundtrack, really cool soundtrack. And the general gameplay is pretty fun as well. At the minute there's 4 characters in the game. And the general concept is you've got to fight to the top of a building that is crumbling down. So you've got to make use of your terrain while also defeating your opponents. There's 2 ways to win. You can either reach the top of the building first, or you can defeat all your other opponents. There is a lot of skill required in this game, which is why I am bad at it. Because, one, you've got to be fairly good at platforming. As you can see, you've probably got to see it now, there is quite a lot going on. And everything around you has a different sort of function, so obviously the fire debris will just do damage to you, but if you hit it right, you can hit most debris at your opponent for an extra ranged attack, and it seems to do a bit more damage than your actual general attack. So that's one thing, but you can also, with the stuff that isn't burning, you can also use that as like a little bit of an extra jump as well. And then if you hit the beams and stuff that are running down, if you run up those at a more steep angle, you can get a much more distance on your jump. So there is a lot of skill involved. I will just say that for it. Now, I'm playing, this is the PS4 version that I'm playing here. The game will also be on the PC. I do actually believe it released on the PC first. This game is available on both platforms right now, you can go and play it. And if you think it looks cool, I would highly suggest picking it up because it's pretty damn fun. The game features 2 to 4 player local co-op, which is pretty damn cool. And it's got the single player campaign, which is what I'm messing around on in this video. It's pretty damn simple on the controls, in the sense of it's like, to play this I used a controller, and it's literally the left stick controls your movement, and then you have attack button and a jump button, and that's it. So it feels. I enjoyed this game for the simple purpose of when I was a younger lad, I used to spend a lot of time in arcades. And this game is the right kind of, particularly in the 90s when I was growing up. I was born right at the very start of the 90s, so I grew up during the 90s. And arcade machines were pretty damn big here in the UK. They were, finding them, they were just gold mines, they were just brilliant. But the old joystick and the 2 buttons for pretty much everything was great, and it's very much reminiscent of that. It's just 2 buttons and the general direction, and then after that it is complete skill that carries it. No complicated controls or combos or anything like that, it's just knowing how to interact with the environment and how to sort of best your opponent. And pretty damn cool. I do really like the art style again, and I get the feeling that a lot of the reason that I really enjoyed this is because it reminded me of the awesomeness of like the old school games that I've used to play, like on arcade machines and things like that, because it was very 90s with the soundtrack and the sort of design of it. It just reminded me of those like really cool little arcade moments you used to have, and I just really enjoyed it. I enjoyed it all the way through that I've played of it, and I will probably keep playing it. It just seems like one of those games, but I would definitely like to. I think it's definitely a game that I would play a lot more with friends. I don't think I could fully recommend it on the basis of the single player. The single player is good and it's a decent challenge, but these type of games are competitive, and I feel this game will benefit quite a lot from the idea of a competitive sort of aspect. I really wouldn't surprise me if you see this game at something like I don't know if you would, but maybe you'd get it at Evo. I mean, you get Super Smash and things like that there, so this is very similar to some parts of Super Smash. Super Smash has got a little bit more in the actual element of brawl, but I could foresee something like this going on at some sort of thing like that. I could really see that being a thing. I would like to also see that they add more characters. The 4 characters are pretty cool. they've got a nice design to them, and they all feel different. I don't know if there is actually any difference in the way they handle. This was the first time I played this character. I can't remember his name now, I do apologise. But originally I was playing as, I think her name's Celine, the girl with the 2 daggers who I fought in the very first mission of this video. I played most of her, and she felt like she could jump further, but I don't think she actually could. I think it was just the fact that I was just getting steeper jumps than I was on this particular character, because this one I was focusing a little bit more on trying to actually damage people, and see which is actually better. If it's better to concentrate on outrunning people, or if it works better to just harass people. Obviously, the correct answer to that is a good mix of both. But I wanted in this video, I did quite a lot of running at the start of it, and then I go a little bit more combat centric at the start, and I just kind of started having fun with it then, of trying to get some skill shots and things like that to try and hit things at people. So you might see that a few bits in the video. I won't try and point them out because trying to talk and do this at the same time is a bit weird. I did also, you've probably already guessed, but I had to record this game first and then do the voiceover that I'm doing now, because of the fact that this game is one of those games that I just could not talk over. It's one of those like tongue hanging out my mouth, biting on my tongue, concentration face sort of games, because I tried really hard to not screw up too much. But there's just so much going on the screen at once that I just physically could not kind of give any sort of accurate information and play the game. So there you go, that's why we're here. So I've tried to record a decent amount of this, hopefully not too much so that it gets boring, but I wanted to show you a good chunk of the game. So the first couple of missions are against just a single opponent, and then I think I've left 1, maybe 2 doubles matches in there, which is still pretty fun. So it's an all versus all, so it's 3 people in there, but I have 2 opponents rather than 1, so it can get surprisingly crazy the more opponents you add. So that's where I think the multiplayer would really shine through in this, particularly because it's local multiplayer. You're gonna have a lot of fun with friends. Put it that way. Everyone knows how a local sort of a thing can get with mates when you're all beating the hell out of each other and you screw over your one mate and all that kind of stuff. So I think the multiplayer on this will really shine through in this game, and I played this on the PS4 and I adored it. I really did. It's a game that when people are around I'm probably going to have a bit of fun with, or at least try to. Probably everyone will beat the hell out of me because it is still platforming and I am notoriously bad at platforming. So there we go. I'm really enjoying it and I would recommend it. It is pretty damn cool. The art style is just fun. The soundtrack is immense. I'm listening to it right now, I'm not even going to lie. Just because... What does it remind me of? If you ever watched the original Power Rangers, it's very much... The soundtrack's got that feel. You'll probably be hearing it now, because you should be hearing it about the same time that I'm hearing it. It's got a very much like an original Power Rangers theme of like the mixture of like the synths and like the sort of guitar riff to it that's just very energetic, and it just adds to the pace really well, and I've really enjoyed that. Really enjoyed that. But yeah, I could see this game doing quite well. I mean, in all honesty, I do hope the game does well, because I'd love to see more kind of crazy games like this. Just little games that you can just pick up and just play. It's good fun. Don't get me wrong, I love games with progression in, but there is something still immensely satisfying about just being able to go to a game and you're completely on a level point with someone else. And the only side difference then is just general skill of you. So I did enjoy it. I keep going back to it. I keep going back to it quite a lot. I didn't expect to. Quite often, I'll get a game and I'll play it for a little bit. I'll do the video on it, and then I might not play it again. It just depends on the game. Some games I will play a hell of a lot. Some games, they're just kind of... They take a back seat for me. It's not that I... like, even if I did enjoy the game, it's just that there's going to be another game that might be taking my interest a little bit more. But this is one of them games that, like, I'll turn the PS4 on, and I'll be like, I'm going to before I do anything else, I'm just going to have a quick couple of games of Skyscrapers. And I like that. That kind of shows to me anyway, it shows an element of charm and that a game's doing the right thing. Maybe it's different for other people, but I think a lot of people had that for things like particularly short games. So I'm trying to think of another good example, like Hearthstone from Blizzard is probably the next best thing I can think of. Like a game where you might not play it all the time, but occasionally you might dip into it for like, oh, you know, I've got just before I do anything else, I'll have a quick game of that, you know. And I found that with this game just on the single player, but I imagine multiplayer would be one of them games that you'd sink hours into if you've got like a handful of friends around and drinks and all that kind of stuff. Just having your own little tournament sort of idea. I think that'd be really cool. But yeah, I really like this. I mean, I come from an element I do enjoy brawlers in general, like the I want to call it side-scrolling brawler, but some of them are obviously more 3D than others. But this sort of 2D side-scrolling brawler, I like fighting games. I like brawlers. I like them a lot, so I really did enjoy that. The one thing that took me the most time to get used to in the combat in this game is when you press attack, it's not immediate. It feels like there's a delay because your character has a little bit of a wind-up first. So you kind of have to learn to play the delay as well. So there's like an extra element of skill, and then like you've also got to be I think you will have just seen it there that you charge up supers and things like that. And there's other things like as you land, if you use attacks, and you can like do like ground pounds and things like that. So there's a lot of like extra skills to learn in the game, which I think is going to be the sort of big thing that kind of ties it all over. Anyway, we're getting near the end now, so I'm going to start to kind of close off now. Hopefully you've enjoyed this. I, as ever, will leave a link in the description, probably to the Steam version of the game. But, as I say, please be aware it is on the PS4, and what you're watching right now was the PS4 version. So yeah, but the links will be in the description below, and other than that, it's Skyscrapers, and it's all there. It's pretty damn cool. I enjoyed it a hell of a lot. I'm probably going to keep playing it just whenever I go onto the PS4 because it's a pretty damn good time. Hopefully you've enjoyed this. If you did, do leave me a like and drop me any comments that you want. If you haven't already, also please do feel free to subscribe for more videos. Thank you massively to the guys for sending me over this game to check out and show to you guys. It's been a blast. Thank you and goodbye.